All right. Uh, Everybody. Hey, welcome back to the Gatewalker Saga, everybody. I'm glad to see everybody here. Well, everybody who's here. We have Ruger and we have Cauldron already in the game already, which is great news for us. We are expecting Damian, and we may potentially get Elryn coming in today. We will not have Angelina with us today. She is on an airplane, so that's not going to happen, which is kind of frustrating from that perspective, but we will soldier on. So to quickly recap where we were last week, you guys had escorted a group of uh, um, refugees from the number of the surrounding areas. They're going off to all the bigger cities to have, their strength in numbers. So people are going off to Neverwinter. They're going off to Waterdeep, Baldur's Gate, any big city where they can get some sort of protection. Everyone is kind of being encouraged to do that for lack of any protection that can really be mounted outside in the boonies, because people are raiding. There's reports of dragon attacks. There's reports of other kinds of denizens, cultists, and other kinds of brigands that are as yet unnamed or unidentified would probably be a better way to describe them, coming in and burning, pillaging, thieving, murdering, which is, as you could well imagine, not great if you are a peasant that is trying to make it a living off of the land. So they've been coming in droves. The party was on the Tribar Trail, right at the crossroads from the entranceway, the road leading into Fanlin off the Tribar. You guys were split into two groups because large parties are kind of attracting too much attention on the road. So if you've got a party of about 40 or less, that's the most desirable size for a couple of different reasons. First of all, you don't need as many people to guard a group that big, because you start getting economies of scale and problems with efficiency. You have like 100 people, yeah, you can maybe drop 5 guards in there, but the perimeter and then people straggling behind, people leading too far in front, blah, 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 becomes very, very hard for you to manage. So your group was split into two, with Cauldron, Ruger, and Angelina taking the lead group, and the other group waited behind until the following day to lead a second group that was going to muster right there at that same crossroads. Speaking of crossroads, you guys have been making your way to a small hamlet. It's just a little, hole-in-the-wall watering hole type of place, but it was right where the Triboar meets in with the high road that leads north and south up and down the coastline. When you guys got there, you had found a small garrison that had been left by the constabulary up in Neverwinter, and Colonel Rhaegar had. They're mostly men that are loyal to and report to him. He was very thankful and very appreciative of the fact that you guys were so willing to break yourselves up into two small groups and to help augment his team. He just doesn't have enough people to really follow everybody and keep everybody safe. So as a result, he was quite appreciative of you guys being willing to go do that. You got there to the city. All along the way, you guys had made new friends. These people had left with pretty much the clothes on their backs, not very much food, very poor provisioning, and you treated them to a wonderful lunch with create food and water, and heard a little bit of their stories and some of the trials and tribulations they'd been up against. You even healed a couple of them that had been injured in some of these raids. You safely got them to the small hamlet, where you checked in your horses, which are on loan to you until you get to Neverwinter. You hung out at the local inn, made a couple of new friends there, and as you were retiring to the barn that night, and were trying to get up into the loft over the barn, something very strange happened. You heard a commotion over at the inn across the clearing, the town square, such as it is, and you saw something dash out of the doorway, off into the trees. You went off to go and investigate, and as you were investigating the small clearing behind the inn, you were attacked by, of all things, a table. And while you weren't really in serious danger, it was a bit shocking. Cauldron did get run into by a big piece of wood and stone, which is this tabletop, and it ran into her before you guys dispatched it very, very quickly and easily, to which the citizens came pouring out of the inn chasing after this table to see you guys standing over the ruined smote of this tabletop. And you went back inside to see that some of the folks you'd been hanging out with and just chit-chatting with over dinner last night got bruised up by this thing before it took off. That's where we left off, was with you guys finding that out. A couple of the guys had some bruised ribs. I believe Elryn actually even healed him up. And as you were investigating to try and figure out where that table, if there was anything unique about the table or anything that was going on from that perspective, as you looked where the table had been, you noticed something strange. You found some small crystalline shards kind of wedged into the floor, and they were the same kind of crystalline remnants that you had found in a couple of places now. The first place you found them was actually in the small sanctuary, which was just outside of the ruins of the tower that Xenopus the Mad had formed. That you first ran into this whole mess with the dragon cultists, and that's where you met Lady Silvermane and rescued her from their clutches, and it was actually discovered by Ruger. He had gone off on a small side mission through his order when he found these. And so you found similar crystalline shards in this location, a much smaller deposit, but they were kind of like stuck into the floorboards where the table had been. And that's where we left off. So any questions, comments, anything we need to clear up, anything you need to ask before we get started, or are we kind of good to rock and roll here?
I'm good.
You're good?
I think we're good. Did we ever figure out what the shards were for?
No, you never did. You did ask to have them looked at. You did run detect magic on them. They did present magical qualities. When you did detect magic on them, they pulled up conjuring magic. That's all you were able to determine of them. They looked like they might be gemstones. You were very heartbroken to find out they weren't. Very much so. Especially your brother Bernard was absolutely stricken to find out that they were not actual gemstones, but nonetheless, clearly of interest. So any other questions?
No.
All right. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started as we wait for Damian to arrive. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and bring you folks on over back into the inn where you guys had left off the night before. So here we are. There, that speak of the devil and he shall appear. There we go. Good to have you, Damian.
There we are.
Very good.
Good
So no problem. We were just doing the recap for everybody before they got started. So good to have you. Welcome back, and we're very, very glad to have you guys all back in here. So here you are. You're back.
I cannot remember my password. I think. Wait, hold on.
Worst comes to worst, I'll have you watch on Twitch. See the things I go through being a DM.
The things you go through. You should try being a player. I've heard of picnic tables. I just didn't know we were the picnic.
It's better living through furniture and carpentry. That's really what it is. So you guys are expecting the other three to eventually show up in town. But it's that evening. You're back in the bar. The gentleman, the one who had been telling you the story of woe about his brother, who had been had gone missing. He was the fisherman from one of the little villages up on the coastline, and how he said it smelled, this, and it was him that had gotten rammed into. So other people had gotten rammed into as well, but hadn't really sustained any serious injuries. This was the guy. He actually had broken ribs and was not doing too well. So Elryn used a healing spell to bring him back to 100%. So he was back up to where he needed to be. And that's kind of where we left that guy off. All right. So Damian, just go ahead and take a few moments to get in if you're not in just yet. Do you need me to reset your password?
Yeah, I think so, because like I just checked, and for some reason it's the password that I had is.
Yeah, you probably have an old. You're probably looking at an old password. Okay. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and remove your password. Okay.
Okay.
So you should be able to just get in just by leaving it blank for the
Yeah,
time.
there we go.
Okay. Whoops. Did that restart me? I guess it did. Interesting. That was interesting.
Did I just mess up the whole thing?
Nope. It's all right. You're fine. All right. So just sit tight, because you guys are on the road, and I'll deal with what you guys have had to deal with in just a moment. But at first, we have to deal with the party that is in the bar, who are dealing with the aftermath. So you guys are standing where your table had been earlier on at dinner last night. You had just retrieved from the planks in the floor some of those shards, and you've got the rest of the folks around you. It's quite packed right now, obviously, because there isn't a whole lot of places to sleep in this town, and you guys were going to sleep here on the floor. Good to see you, Damian. I see you in there now. You guys were going to sleep on the floor in this common area, but you opted for something a little bit more private, so you were going to sleep in the loft over the barn across the street where they were keeping all the horses, where this all went down. But now you're here in the bar. How you want to go forward? What are you guys going to do next? Everybody's awake, by the way. There's nobody's asleep at the bar. There's quite a bit of murmuring going on, but everyone's starting to settle themselves down to get ready to try to maybe go back to bed or what have you.
Cauldron is going to take the crystals just in case we could do some investigating on them later.
Absolutely. Okay. They're small. They're about maybe 2 centimeters long, not quite an inch, and they kind of are sort of teardrop shaped. They look very much like someone had dropped a large thick piece of glass and they had shattered off. They're clear, but there is a bit of a greenish hue to the glass or to the crystal itself. Again, it could be very easily mistaken for a piece of broken glass as a result. In fact, let me go and put that into your inventory for you.
And she's gonna talk to Ruger, who's there. Be like, did you say that these had some sort of conjuration magic?
That's what we had discovered way back when, a universe ago, when I found them. Someone had told me that. So they're used for conjuring something, but who's using them and what for, I'm not really sure.
Interesting. I tried to talk to the table in Primordial, and it didn't respond. It could be sort of it could be an elemental that somebody summoned to make the table do that, but
right. That was a good thought.
You guys did do an investigation in the area around Ruger. You did have your owl flying high air cover. You did not detect anyone in that range. If there was somebody there, you didn't see them.
Okay.
Some of the
Does it
people
appear that there's
Go ahead.
anybody in the tavern who might have that kind of expertise? You know, someone's
Go
clearly
ahead
a
and
high-level wizard.
give me an investigation roll. You rolled an 8. It's, to the best of your knowledge, from anything you can see, these folks, it looks like it's full of commoners. There are some folks that look like they might be, ex-soldiers potentially. There may be some folks there look like they've got, they can handle themselves. You got a few folks that, look like they've had a life. But there's nobody there that, upon looking around, looks like they would have that kind of conjuring capacity. There's nobody, for example, wearing ornate robes, walking around with a staff and a tiara. So nothing that really jumps out at you as being a likely candidate.
Okay. I guess it's back to the loft then.
All right. So you all choose to go out to the loft, and as you go across the street and climb up into the loft itself, you notice that the guards that were standing watch are kind of well, not really freaked out, but they're asking a million questions, like, "Hey, what was going on there?" Is like, we heard you guys making a bunch of noise. Is everything okay? I mean, we're not we got to stand here. We got to guard the gates. We got to guard the horses. But what was going on? Tell us what was happening.
Well, apparently a table sprung to life and battered some of the people inside and came out, and when we caught up to it, it fought with us, and we eventually were able to put it down. But I've never heard of a table coming to life before, so if you have any idea who might want to do something ill to the people in the inn, please let us know.
The table started running around in the bar.
That's what we saw.
Hey, Harry, did you hear this? Is it a table? Yeah. A table. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, we had a guy coming through there. He said he had a horse, and it turned out to be an owlbear. These guys got tables running around hitting people inside the bar. You sure they've not been, like, it's good stuff over there at the bar. I understand. It's pretty strong. You sure it's not, dipping back type of thing?
No, clearly magic.
Wow. Well, hey, I don't get paid for doing stuff like that, so I'm glad I'm over here watching the horses, if you know what I'm saying. Look, you're not going to tell anybody we didn't run over, right? This is just between us, strictly. I mean, we're letting you stay upstairs. We're not making no fuss about that, right? This is just between us, right?
Have no fear.
Yeah, great. You're upstanding guys. I really appreciate that. You look out for us. We look out for you. So yeah. Go on up. We'll try to keep everything quiet down here. But the horses sometimes are the horses. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they're making noise. They're making farting sounds. And when one of them drops, it's just. Oh, sorry. Maybe not talk about that in front of the lady. Sorry, lady. He goes and kind of gives a little. Kind of looks over at Angelina and kind of doffs the cap. She's a holy woman. You got to be careful. I was like, Harry, I told you need to watch your language around these people. Jeez, what's wrong with you? Well, yeah, go on up. About probably. He looks off in the distance, looking up at the stars. Maybe about 6-7 hours before you get daylight. So you're gonna go get some sleep, now's probably the time. You know what I'm saying?
We would appreciate it. Please keep a watch out.
Yeah, we got your back. Don't worry about it. Go on up, hit the hay. Literally. Sorry. Sorry.
I would laugh harder. I'm just very tired.
Yeah. I understand. I'm a day sleeper. So I understand. I gotta sleep during the day. The kids are running around. Everyone's making noise. It makes you grumpy.
Well, we wouldn't want that.
So, before you just go upstairs to retire, well, can I ask you a question? Why'd you guys get roped into leading all these the kind of common folks around? I mean, the farmers. Why are you one leading them around? Most of these folks come in on their own. Well, they got guys like me trying to lead them in. That doesn't work too well sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody has to. If you have the ability to protect someone else, someone weaker, then it's your duty. You should.
Noble thought there. Noble thought, my friend. I can see you got one of the... Hold on a second. Someone's texting me.
Well, it's the thoughts of my order.
I understand.
An order of paladins. So.
Oh, you're a paladin. I see. So you're kind of like a holy one, like the lady over here, too. I get you. I see.
Yeah. We belong to the same religion, the same order. So we protect the clerics. We protect the people. We are sworn. It is our duty.
Oh, yeah. I swear a lot. See what I'm saying, Harry? You see the joke? Harry, I'm talking to you. Harry! Yeah, whatever.
Well,
that's really nice of you folks.
I really have to go to the loft and get some rest.
All right,
I won't
yeah.
be able to function tomorrow.
Well, yeah, the lieutenant will be up. He'll be up around daybreak. He'll come in. He'll relieve us. So should be some different guards when you come back down the stairs. So yeah, go on, hit the hay, and we'll let you know if anything happens. All right?
Please, and if you have any ideas about who might want to do something strange, some kind of ill will towards the owners of the inn, let us know.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone want to do that. I mean, frankly, I don't know anybody would be stupid enough to take on that guy. Have you seen his face? I mean, what the heck is going on with that mustache? I mean, I've seen horses with smaller tails than that guy's mustache. You know what I'm saying?
As have I, yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know anybody. But besides, if they mess with him, I mean, where are we going to get a beer from, right? We're going to have beer. Jeez. All right, well, yeah, I can't. If I think of anything, I'll ask the other guys. If anybody can think of anything, we'll let you know. Otherwise, yeah, go get some rest.
Thank you, my good man.
Yeah, no problem. Evening, ladies. I kind of doffs his cap to you guys as well. So you guys go on up to the loft. It is not the most luxurious of accommodations, but there is considerable amount of hay. It's dry. The wind is not blowing too strong through it, but it's relatively comfortable. It is cold, but you find it pretty easy to go and kind of make a nest out of between your bedrolls and the hay. It's relatively comfortable. You certainly can't go and build a fire up there because it is a barn. That wouldn't go over too terribly well, I'm quite sure. But other than that, it's not the worst in the world right now. It's actually pretty comfortable. So all of you, checking here. It is an uneventful evening. It looks like all the fun and games for the night has already taken place. So go ahead and open up your character sheets and give yourselves a long rest. All right? As we get ready for the next day. Alrighty.
My hit points should go back to the normal, right?
They should, and also the condition of being under aid. That condition would have worn off. So let me go into your effects and remove aid. You no longer have that. So your hit points go back down by 5 points to where they're supposed to be. Let me go ahead and turn that off for you and for Angelina. I've turned off Cauldron's. Now turned off Angelina's. And last but certainly not least, I will turn off yours, Ruger. And that should take you back down to 72 hit points. There it is. Boom. Gone. Awesome. All right. You wake up in the morning, and true to his word, you see two different people standing at the bottom of the ladder leading up to the hayloft. There, it seems to be quiet. You can hear the birds chirping. It's a relatively nice morning. The sun is up. There's a cool breeze blowing. The smell coming up from the stables is quite strong, but it's not the worst smell in the world that you've dealt with getting up in the morning. You can already hear some activity coming in from the inn, which is across the clearing. What would you like to do?
I guess we break camp and, eat some rations or go to the inn for breakfast. What do you guys feel like? We were flush with funds, so we could probably go eat over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll break camp, put away our bedrolls and our stuff, change of clothes for those who can change clothes, and head over.
Very good. So as you guys go over, sorry, I was fighting a sneeze, and it's not quite gone yet. As you guys get closer to the inn, you can hear the sounds of people milling about inside. But as you get closer to the door, you can pick up the distinct sounds of a woman crying as you get closer and closer to the door. As the door opens up, you can see that there is a woman sitting at one of the tables, and she's leaning up against her husband, and she's crying. And there's a small crowd around her. The table you guys were at last night is available to you, so you sit yourselves down there as the activities around you proceed. The matron of the inn comes running up to you at the table. She drops down breakfast ale for 3 in front of you, which is a very hearty, very barley-rich kind of brew. It's quite tasty, but definitely not the only thing you want to be having for breakfast. And she looks and she goes, breakfast is going to be in a few minutes, so give us a couple of seconds here, okay, sweetheart? I'd ask you what you want, but you're only getting what we got, if you understand what I'm saying. Hey, Maury! We need 3 more plates! She charges back off as the chaotic activity of getting the food served to everybody is taking place. The breakfast beer is nice and malty and got a nice thick head on it. It's kind of cloudy, but other than that, it's rather refreshing. But as you're sitting there, you can hear more of the murmuring going on from the group that's over there with the woman who apparently is quite distraught. What would you like to do next?
Well, order breakfast, maybe some porridge, and when the waitress, the wait person comes around, ask them about the woman who's distraught.
All right. Well, the waitress comes back over a few minutes later. She's got on a large plate bread from the night before that has been quickly toasted over the coals so that you can't tell that it's gone stale. There's some chopped up fruit and some large chunks of cheese on there. She drops it down, and as you ask her, she goes, I don't really know what's going on with that lady, but something about they said that her chair took away one of her kids. I don't know, son. It doesn't make any sense to me. But last night we had a table running around in here, so who knows? Who knows what's going on? So I got more tables to go work on. She drops the cutting board with all the food in front of it and a couple of bowls in front of you. And takes off to go pick up more empty cups, refill people's breakfast beer, and take the orders of some of the other people that are just coming in to get their food.
Well, shall we make for Neverwinter today? What's the party thing?
Have we joined up with the other half of the party? Are they stopping here?
You are expecting them sometime this morning. They could be arriving anytime between now and around noonish, based on when you were told by the colonel that they should be appearing. So you've got a little bit of time to hang out before they arrive, or you can try getting this group together and head out before the party gets the rest of your party gets into this little area of town.
No, I think we should wait for the party.
Okay. So as you are kind of sitting there, you notice that the caterwauling is kind of calmed down by the lady that was over there. She gets up, and a couple of other women kind of walk with her back out over and start heading across the clearing area of the center of town. So it's pretty clear that they're going to take her back over to the kind of schoolhouse / church combination that's on the other corner of the square. As you guys are sitting there and you're finishing your breakfast, one of the gentlemen gets up and says, "Well, I'm going to go look for him." And you see him walk out the door, and you see as he goes walking out, people kind of shaking their heads at him. He slams the door behind him and goes walking out into the street. After that little drama plays out, the place gets relatively calm again. The minstrel from the night before has finally come down the stairs. He looks like he's still shaking off the effects of having drank too much ale the night before. And before he even starts eating any of his food, he starts plunking away a little bit on his lute and starts singing a couple of songs to try and cheer up the mood of everybody that's here for the breakfast. As that's happening, you see some of the men starting to pack up and prepare their baggage for the rest of the day. What would you like to do next?
I guess I'll go check on our horses, take care of the equipment that we have. I mean, there's things that always need care. So, oil the leathers, oil the metals, different oil. Sharpen the blades.
So as our Cauldron, are you going to go with Ruger, or do you have other plans? What would you like to do?
I don't have any other plans. I'll go with Ruger.
All right, so you guys go across the street, back over, start getting your packs together, prepping up all your material, checking your harnesses and so forth. And you overhear the guards talking about the missing child. And one of them says something along the lines of, that this is not the first one not the first disappearance that they've heard of. There's a changing of the guards. The two guys that are in the barn walk out, presumably to go and take up the positions at the entranceways to this little burb from the road. And there's 2 new guards that replace them, standing guard over the horses. They kind of give you a quick nod and let you proceed about your business. There's other husbands and sons now joining you, coming over, brushing down some of the horses to get them ready to bring them on to wherever they're going. Oop, who did we lose? All right. We had lost somebody there for a quick second. And
Okay.
so they're getting their oxen ready. They're starting to see them hooking them up to the carts and so forth. And you can quickly identify the group that you guys had come with. They all start to kind of pull over to where you guys are setting up your horses, and they're starting to stagger them along in the area inside of the corral, kind of getting them lined up with your horses as well. This goes on for several hours. Obviously, as you know, that breaking down camp and getting horses ready is pretty hefty work. And around noon, your compatriots come back into the bar as you see there's a little bit of commotion on the street, and you hear people calling out, "Another group coming in!" You know, and you can see as you look outside the city walls. I mean, the city walls, the corral that you're in. You can see another group of refugees coming in the same path that you were on, and you can see that at the front of that little caravan coming in, you see Elryn and Ruger and Damian walking in with that group that's coming in. You can tell by the look on their faces, it has not been a very smooth trip to come in. There are some people that have been, it would appear, wounded. You see some folks with bandages. You see blood. And as Elryn comes riding in on her horse, she rides all the way up to the 2 guards that are kind of standing point at the city entrance and barks a command to them that we've got wounded. I need you to come out here and help us bring some of these folks in. Some of them are barely able to walk on their own. You see the soldiers run out, and some of the other husbands and sons go riding out as well. And as the commotion kind of increases, you see more people piling out of the inn and out of the school/church, filling the city square area to kind of see what's going on. And as the caravan gets in closer, you see Elryn directing people over into the inn, saying, Put the ones that are most injured on the tabletops. We need to start working on these people now, or we're going to start losing them." She looks at Elryn and says, "Sister, we need to go in there. We need to start healing people up. We got ambushed. We had made great progress. It seemed that we were going very, very quickly, and then all of a sudden we got ambushed about an hour away, and we had no way to defend against as many people that ended up hitting us. We did our best. We managed to fight them off, but as you can see, they went after the farmers. They didn't come after us. They went after the farmers first." Damian, what had happened while you were there, you know that what had occurred was, out of the tall grass in the area that's just east of the city, all of a sudden there was a bunch of marauders that came flying out of the grass. Primarily they were cultists, but there were also just wild men with them as well that were wielding all kinds of weapons, and was not something that the farmers were able to repel. They also had an ogre fighting with them, and the ogre came in with its club and just started, cleaving its way through everybody that was in the group. And as a result, a couple of the husbands were killed, and but several of them were wounded. You and Druger were able to turn the tide of battle. Of course, obviously Elryn helped as well, but it was really a very one-sided affair. While you were attacking the brigands and the cultists and this ogre, the ogres were primarily attacking the people. It's like they didn't care that you were attacking them. They were of single-minded purpose to try and inflict as much damage on the citizens as possible. The children are absolutely shock-struck right now. Most of them are clinging on to their parents. Some are crying. Some are absolutely stone still with just wide-eyed terror on their faces and making no noise at all. But as you guys come in, everyone ends up coming into the bar, and as the tables get swept of the plates and bowls that are on them, and cups scatter across the floor, plates land, cheese and bread end up tossing about here and there. Elryn and Elryn and Angelina start immediately going through and performing triage on the different groups, using their healing kits for the ones that are less severely injured, and healing spells on the ones that are more severely wounded. As a result, by the time all is said and done, to try and stabilize some of the ones that are there, Elryn ends up casting 3 of her healing spells to try and bring that together. And during the combat that had happened earlier on, she had cast 1 of her 3rd level spells, and she had cast 1 of her 2nd level spells as well. So her spell lists are down a little bit at the moment with respect to where she is. Angelina ends up casting... Interesting. That should have come back when she had her long rest. Why didn't she get that? Okay. As a result... Okay. Elryn ends up using up Angelina ends up using up all of her 1st level spells to try and stabilize the people who have been coming in who have been wounded. It takes several hours in order to go and stabilize all of these people who have been wounded. By the time everything is said and done, it's early afternoon before everything has been brought to any kind of stabilization, and before everything has been brought to being settled. All right. You now find yourselves all in the bar. There's now the people who have been healed. There's the new group of folks that have been brought in, as well as the group that you originally let in here. So the inn is quite literally overflowing. There's people standing outside because there's just not enough room for them all to be inside of this structure. What would you guys like to do?
So is the second group of people, are they in a condition to travel?
Most of them have been healed up, or at least, at the very least, their injuries are not so severe that they couldn't travel. They could travel if they needed to. They have traveled most of the day already and through part of the early hours before sunup, having left Phandalin. So you've already got one group there that's almost traveled a full day, full day's worth of travel. So the folks that just came in with your party probably can't travel. They're going to need to have a day's rest. But your group, the one that you guys initially escorted in, they can proceed and progress and move on if you guys would like to do so.
I assume we want to trade people for Damian because he's here.
Yes.
Is he here?
He is here. At least I see him in here. Hopefully he's here. But yes, Damian is in.
He's AFK for the moment.
Is he? Okay. Does
No,
that
I
do?
am back. I am back. I am back.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome. So Damien, you guys are going to swap out Damien. The two healers would kind of rather stick around to see how things progress, because there are some folks that whose injuries may become more severe. But Angelina offers to stick around, and Elryn decides that she can proceed with you. Druger's going to stick around back at the city to kind of augment the local garrison in case there is another attack on everybody as they come in. So the four of you can proceed and make your way along with the group that you had escorted yesterday if you want to continue to make progress. And quite frankly, uh, the intent, you can get the intention from the innkeeper. He'd like you to get them out of there because there's not enough room, and there's no room in the inn, literally. For all of these people, there's probably half the group that came in this latest sortie is all standing out in the middle of the courtyard because there's just not enough roof to go over all these people.
All right, then let's head out then.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Bringing you guys out to the Sword Coast. All right. So let me know when you guys can see the road and see where you're standing. Do you guys see yourselves?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
I can see sort of the road.
Right.
Are we at the bottom of this?
Yeah, you guys
I'm
should be.
zooming in.
Yeah, that you should see
I see our group token.
right.
There we go.
Awesome. All right. So, 1 second here. All right. So you guys start moving around. You start heading on down. And you start heading north along the high road. It's already fairly late in the day. And by the time it starts getting a little bit dusk, you see that there's a crossroads. There's a small crossroads that leads into the high road. Everybody stops there in order to have a quick bite to eat. That takes roughly an hour for everyone to kind of take a breather. Let's see. And there's off in the distance, you can hear the sounds of some sort of a large beast that's making a noise. It's not a dragon. You guys have become pretty familiar with dragon sounds. But there's clearly something off in the direction of the forest, which is miles away, obviously. But you can hear this bellowing coming in off of that direction. And you pick up the faint smells of something on fire. Like there's been some sort of conflagration of some type. Perhaps it's a forest fire, maybe it's something natural, or it may have something to do with the noises you're hearing from this beast. What would you like to do? Do you want to continue on the high pass? Do you want to do something else? Probably on the high road.
How late in the day is it?
It is about, I'd say about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. If you're going to try and make it to the next watering hole, that is the Rumboldt Inn, which is more of a. It's not so much a town as it is just a almost like a rest stop. it breaks off to the east to go to a mining compound. And this is kind of like where that's like the trading house for the miners and so forth, where they pick up their provisions and so forth. But it's also roughly the end of a full day's travel away from Leath village, which is where you guys were coming from. If you try and make it all the way there, it will be quite dark by the time you make your get yourself into that vicinity.
I don't know, guys. What do you think? Investigate the creature sounds or the fire, or try to get the people up the road to safety? Well, relative
What
safety.
direction is like the fire? Which direction is the fire coming from? Basically, like
Well, you
I
can't
assume.
really. The wind is blowing from the west, pardon, from the east towards the ocean.
Okay.
So you're getting an offshore flow. So it's clearly coming from somewhere in that direction, but it's hard to get a real tell. You know,
All
it's
right.
but the noise itself seemed to be coming northeasterly. Not quite as far north to say where the Rumboldt Inn is, which is northwest a little bit, and the miners' compound is almost directly north of you. But it is like sounds like it was coming from kind of over in this location. But it did appear
Okay.
to be moving.
I think we should just leave whatever it is alone, unless it
Yeah,
obviously becomes a problem.
with all the people here with us, I tend to agree. I think
Okay.
we'll try to speed things up and head towards the inn.
All right. By the time you guys get all geared up and start moving, by the time you get to about here, it's already dark. By the time you get here, so that's about 6 o'clock. By the time you guys get in to where the Rumboldt Inn is, it'll be about 11 o'clock at night. Let me just check a couple things here.
I'll cast a light cantrip
All right.
for the caravan.
All righty.
Maybe stick it on the lead horse's harness or something.
There you go. Okay. There you are. So your horse starts to move along, and just as you guys are about 2 hours away, you're probably a good 2 hours away from being able to reach the edge of the town. You hear the horses are starting to get a little bit upset. Cauldron, give me a perception roll, please. In fact, all three of you, please give me perception. Do you guys have your character? Can you guys get to your character sheets? If not, just roll a d20 and I'll tell you guys what you got.
Okay. I think I'll summon my owl
Okay.
to take a look around.
All right. Who rolled the 18?
It wasn't me.
That would be Damian. Cauldron got a
It was
15.
me, Austin. Yeah, I got a pretty good roll that time.
All right. So Ruger and Cauldron, you're pretty sure that, I mean, you don't know what's going on, but you can tell that the horses are not happy. Damian, you get a much clearer sense of what's going on. You can pick up a very foul smell. And that smell can mean several different things, but none of them are good. It seems to be coming from the direction off to the east, and it's pretty close. You're pretty sure that it could be a number of different things, but almost all of them are hostile.
I warned the group very quietly, guys. Um, this isn't good, guys. I'm sensing something, and yeah, guys, we should probably slow our pace a quick second.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, stop the group. Uh, you know, we'll take up a defensive position between whatever's to the east and the farmers that we're escorting. I'll cast Shield of Faith. I guess I do have aid.
You have aid. Okay. Hold that thought for just a quick second. All right. All right.
Does Damian know what kind of threats we might be facing?
Damian,
I mean,
you aren't exactly sure what kind it could be, but it could be you smelled that same smell before when you guys got ambushed the day before. So to put that in perspective, the whatever it was that attacked you guys, and that included an ogre.
I let the crowd know. I let the group know.
All right.
You know, definitely not entirely sure what it is, guys, but I definitely know that what follows it isn't great.
All right. So all of you guys start. Everyone's starting to get their heads on a swivel, and the interesting thing is that you notice that some of the farmers are starting to pick up on it too. You start seeing the husbands looking around. The horses are getting even more and more agitated, and the children are starting to cry, and some of them are starting to get quite upset. Some of the women are starting to get very vocal in their objections to what seems to be going on. So, with that being said, let me bring you into a closer view of what is happening inside of where you are. And let's see. All right. So, Ruger, you had cast a light spell, correct?
Yeah, a cantrip.
Awesome. So let me do that. That gives you. That's how far ahead does that work? Let's see. Is that 15 feet? Let me check here.
Dim light for 20 feet, bright light for 20 feet.
Got it. Okay.
So 40-foot radius.
Yep. All right. And you cast 8 upon yourself? Is that correct?
Actually, I cast 8 on the other party members.
Okay.
I'll cast after that's. Is that a concentration spell? That's not, right?
It's not.
Okay, yeah. After that, I'll cast Shield of Faith on me.
All right. Let's see here. All righty. And here we go. I'll turn aid back on for you guys. And Damian. You have shield. You wanted to turn Shield of Faith on yourself, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
They all get the hit points. I get the armor class bonus.
Understood. Let's see. I think I already have that set for you. No, I have to turn that on. Okay, cool. Targeting yourself. And you cast Shield of Faith. All right, I have to do it this way because it won't let me do it unless you must target a token before rolling the attack, which is dumb because that's not relevant here, but that's fine. I'll fix this.
Yeah, I can't put it on myself because I can't see my token.
It just did. It's interesting because it wasn't saying that you were, but your AC just went up to 23. So you got your two AC bonus. All right. Okay. Awesome. All right. So the party is kind of taking the lead position on the group. So let me bring you guys into a map that more closely represents your present circumstances. All right. There you are. The road proceeds ahead of you. Off to the left and the right, there are small trees, scrub brush, high grasses. All of it kind of impeding your ability to see too much further than on the road that you're presently on. It's also dark outside. And while your night vision would be relatively useful for being able to see what's going on in front of you, it is a little impractical from the perspective that there's only so much you can do. Hold on a second. I need to do this. All right, let me try that. And there you go. All right. So, how would you guys like to proceed? I just put you guys down onto the page here. But is this a fine enough marching order for you guys, or how do you want to proceed? The group is going to be following behind you.
When you say behind, you mean off to our right?
The road goes on this map goes right to left.
Yes. Which way is Neverwinter?
Neverwinter is to the left.
So the rest of
north.
The farmers are to the right?
Yes. So the farmers are back here. Okay, the farmers are back over here, and the road proceeds ahead of you towards Neverwinter in that direction.
Aldrin, Damian, what do you guys think? Marching order?
Fine.
Right now, Druger and Damian are in the back. Is that what you guys want?
Oh, it's
I feel
on
like at
this
least
side.
one heavy hit. I feel like one
I can
heavy
go up
hitter in the
front.
front, one heavy hitter in the back. Yeah,
All right.
one in front, one in back for sure.
All right. So let's do it like this then. Okay. All right. So as you guys are moving along, that smell, Damien, starts getting a lot stronger. It seems to be coming from the trees, kind of off on this side of where you are. but it's kind of hard to get a really good read on it. What would you? So, Ruger, did you want to call your? You said you called your owl, right?
Right. So
Okay.
can I send the owl up above to take a look?
Hold on a second. Your owl's light should not be that big. There we go. All right. So your owl starts to fly up. So he's flying up probably around 30, 40 feet above the trees.
Yeah. And take
Okay.
a look around this zone next to us.
Okay. As he's flying around up here, he doesn't see anything immediately next to you.
Okay. keep having him circle back and take a look.
Okay. So do you guys want to catch up to where he is then?
Yeah, we can start going that way. I'll
All right.
notch my crossbow and have it ready.
All right. As he tries going up in this direction, you suddenly see an arrow fly up in his direction.
Where did the arrow come from? Which way?
The arrow came from kind of down in this direction.
Hmm.
Let me see what happens here. By the way, you guys are going to have to use the inventory to actually cast the do your attacks, because for whatever reason, the action button is not working. So the arrow, when it fired up, was extremely poor, and you hear the sound of someone curse off in this general direction.
Someone or something. I'll pull the owl back down
It sounded human. So you pull him down like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Towards the rock in between.
All right. As that happens, the trees, you hear someone yell out, "Attack!" and a large group suddenly breaks out of the trees. You see 5 men in black garb pour out of the trees, and we find ourselves in the age-old phrase, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time to roll for initiative. So please roll for your characters. I will roll for I will roll for Elryn. Cauldron, you want to go ahead and roll for yourself? Ooh, who rolled the 20? Oh, that may have been me.
That was me. Damian rolled the 24-14.
All right. Well, you already have an inspiration point, or I was going to give you one if you didn't have one, but you already have one. All right. Somebody rolled a 1. Oh, Ruger's Owl. Ruger's Owl rolled a 1 on his initiative.
And there's Owl.
Yeah. There we go. So we now find ourselves in combat. I don't like that one. Let's use this one. I like this one better. All right, we are now in combat. Ladies and gentlemen, Damian, you are up. You can see these creatures that have stuck themselves out here, but they are very hard for you to see. They're just at the edge of your range. Let me just check the range here relative to this. Oh, actually, no, you can see them just fine with your night vision, but boy, they're just at the edge of your range of vision. It gets pretty dark pretty quickly after them. What would you like to do, sir?
All right, here's what I'm going to try and do. Hold on. Because clearly they're just behind this rock.
Right. This guy here has kind of got cover from you, but these guys are out in the open.
I kind of because I am close. Can I run and ready my longbow, perhaps?
Yeah. Well, if you run, you won't be able to attack.
I mean, well, let me move to here.
Okay. That changes your visibility. All of them are visible to you now. You've got line of sight on all of them. If you want to go and try shooting your bow.
Actually, you know what? I would. I'm trying to think. What does more damage, my bow or my fire? Probably my fire. I'm sure. I'm going to use my bow because just in case something happens and I need to use.
All right, go ahead. I see you've targeted the guy that is closest to you.
I go to. Oh shoot! Hold on. Let me go to inventory. Let me do this. There we go. Longbow +1. Oh, hold on. Oh, no, not that one. My thing shifted on me. I apologize. Oh, hold on. Darn it.
Try and get it a little bit more zoomed in here so people can see this a little better.
Hold on. Did it just say that I made a mistake for a second? About.
It just says reaction applied to Damian. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Yeah, we can
Just
adjust
yes,
that.
or...
Yeah, it's fine. I'll fix it. Don't worry about that. So go ahead and make your attack. You've targeted the first guy, right? Yours is the white icon.
Yes. Yeah. Hold on. My thing's just being a little slow for a second.
Just remember, you'll have to go into your inventory and launch the attack from. And it's the longbow. Longbow +1.
I did. It's just my desktop is being slow.
Not a problem.
Actually,
by the way, you guys did rearm yourselves before you left Phandalin. So you have your +1 arrows or your regular arrows. What would you rather use? Genji?
These aren't magical opponents. You probably just need regular.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll just use my regular arrow, I would assume.
All right, then we will go ahead. You do have a +1 longbow, so go ahead and use your regular arrows on that.
I'm going to have to ask you to probably do that for me just because my freaking
All right. No worries.
is being slow for some reason.
All
Does
right.
Damian recognize what they are yet?
Well, you guys recognize the Damian. It is the battle. It is battle, but I'm going to go ahead and use your perception here, just to make sure, because it is dark. You are just too busy seeing people coming out of the trees, so you don't really pay attention to who they are. You don't really notice that at all. Go ahead and target. You've already done so. And you fire with your longbow.
Sorry, I was saying, yeah, I'm gonna have to ask you guys to do this for me, just because like my computer, I'm refreshing my browser because it's for some reason it's not working. It's just chugging.
All right, you miss with your first arrow. You fire a second arrow, and you manage to hit with the second arrow. Checking your damage, you see the arrow go directly right into the throat of the person that came climbing out of the woods, and you hear a muffled squeak as the creature falls to the ground without even so much as a scream, and is quite dead as a result of that. All right. First one is down. That is the end of Damian. Damian, unless you're going to try casting a spell of some... No, you can't. There's nothing you can do as a reaction.
That's it. I'm all good.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Nice shot.
Yep. All right.
Yes!
All right. One of the people who has stepped out of the woods tries to return the favor. He targets you, and he fires an arrow at you.
Who's you?
At Damian, sorry. And let's see, that is a 20, which I believe will strike you. It does. Do you want to use shield to deflect the attack?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so as a reaction, you engage shield. Where is that? There it is. There we go. You have now used shield. The arrow does not strike as a result. And that has used up your reaction for this round, and it has used up, I believe, his only attack. Yes. Ruger, it is now your turn, sir.
Okay. Well, I had my crossbow ready, so I think I'll take a crossbow shot, but first I'll move up and get some partial cover from this stone thing.
All right.
That
That will give you partial cover. Let me make sure that you've got that. That will give you half cover. That increases your AC even further.
And I'll target the nearest guy. Did it fire? Okay.
Go ahead and click the attack roll. There you go. And you hit. Please roll your damage. The
After
arrow
this, I'll-
grazes across his shoulder. You see him grimace and look at you with fanatical rage in his eyes.
Good.
Would you
I like
Yeah.
Raging fanatics.
Raging
I'll-
fanatics.
I'll shoot him again.
All right, go ahead and take a shot. Technically, with a heavy crossbow, I'm supposed to make you reload, but that's fine. We'll still give you the
Oh.
2 shots.
That's okay. I'll
No, it's one of those rules where it's like while it's accurate, it's also tactically annoying. So go ahead and shoot it. We'll let you do that with your shot. You managed to. Oh, but unfortunately, you missed with your second shot. He sees the arrow, the quarrel coming, and just kind of does one of these olays, and you see the arrow go flying off into the bushes behind him. Anything else you're going to do? I think that probably takes out everything you can do at this point.
Yeah, I'll advance on them next time when they're closer with swords. So I'll get the swords ready for the next
All right.
hand to hand.
Understood. Okay. Let me check the range on this. All right. All right. All of a sudden, Damian, you start feeling a compulsion to stand very, very, very still. You need to make a saving throw, sir, on wisdom of 11 or better. Going over to your wisdom, doing a roll. This is a saving throw.
Is he within 10 feet of me? I think he
He's
is.
just outside of it. He's 15 feet away. It's the first thing I checked. Sorry. All right. But you make it.
Side of the rock.
Hold on, I
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure. Was that I was actually trying to do it. Damn it! Did you roll for me or?
You did. You rolled. I wanted you to roll rather than using the auto roll, so you did. You rolled a 17. The auto roll you had failed on, but your roll you had succeeded. So you feel this compulsion to stop, and you manage to resist it. As you do, you see something come flying towards you out of the woods. Let me grab it. Come on down. Where are you? There we are. You see a glowing, floating mace come flying towards you. And as it does, it has to try to hit you first. Comes the attack.
Dude, you're telling me it hits at a 17?
No, I didn't say that. Hold on a second. That was your saving throw, Kenji. All right, let me do the D20 for the attack. But your AC is very high right now. And that is not... So all of a sudden, as the shield forms around you, as the arrow hit, as it still encompasses you, you see this glowing red mace ricochet off of your shield, sparking off magical energy as it hits and does not get purchase on your body. And that is the end of that person's action. Moving right along. The other creature here, what would he do? He's going to charge. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And as he does, he takes a shot at you, Ruger, with his bow and arrow as he comes rushing in. He fires with his short bow. And he rolls a 20. Critical hit. And he hits you for 10 points of damage. A very, very lucky roll. He manages to find exactly the crease in your armor. And the only... Hold on a moment. That roll was a 22. Your armor class is 25 right now because you have Shield of Faith running. That should not work. Backing it out. Alright? You have not taken that damage. You're back up to 72. The arrow hits the glowing energy on your armor and ricochets off harmlessly. And that is the end of his turn. Cauldron. This ambush has had mixed results for these gentlemen. What would you like to do? There's one charging here. You saw something come flying out of the trees over here. There's this gentleman and this gentleman still alive, and one very dead one here.
Cauldron is going to go up here.
Okay.
And do what she does best. You know, a little stabbing.
Stabby, stabby. The pointy end goes into the guy. There you go. Give us the attack. +1 on your +1 dagger. Unfortunately, you don't have sneak attack on him because... Ooh, but you didn't need it because that stuck in wonderfully through his black robes and leathers. Go ahead and roll your damage.
I don't think I get sneak attack damage.
You do not do,
'cause-
yeah, just regular damage. But it is still a +1 dagger.
Yep.
Was that a natural 20 or was that a modifier?
It was a dirty 20.
There was a dirty 20. Like a dirty martini. It was a dirty 20. All right, so your blade slinks right in and gets into a nice little crease, and you hear the as the guy ends up catching the business end of your very ornate dagger. Is that it for you? Yeah, because you don't have
Nope.
extra attack, right?
Oh, she comes back in.
Oh,
with
that's right.
Bonus action.
Yes. Here we go. With the rapier. The very nice ornate rapier. And you managed to strike with the rapier. Go ahead and give us the damage with the rapier, please. So as he goes from the blade catching into him, you catch him up with the other one, and you pierce deeply into his shoulder, and he shouts out curses at you. And you see blood starting to come down your blade, and you smile at him, knowing that he's now yours. All right.
That is my turn.
All right. All right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. By the way, this is what's running at you. 35, 40. Cauldron. You see this snarling beast come rushing out of the forest towards you, wielding what looks like a small tree. You are familiar with these creatures. This is an ogre, and not the Shrek kind. This is a big, nasty, snarling beast. He targets you, and as he comes in, he wields his great club and tries to mash you as he screams something completely incomprehensible as he's foaming at the mouth. And he rolls a 21 on his attack, which will strike you. What would you like to do? The damage would be...
Uncanny dodge.
I knew you would do that. Is only 9, but because of your uncanny dodge, you only take 4 points of damage, reducing you down to 53 points. As you will go in Olay out of the way, but not entirely. Fortunately, these guys don't have multi-attack, because that could be really, really bad for you. But you see Ruger, part of the bane of your existence, which are ogres, is now threatening to kill your your rogue. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Once again, creature comes charging out of the woods. This is one of those draconic hybrids that you've been seeing in the past, and this one's scales are black. And as it sees you, it can't get a clear shot at you with its breath weapon, but it does. It can't do that either, so that's all it can do for now. Actually, yeah, that's all it can do for now, as it comes out of the trees towards you. All right. The cultist that you had shot with an arrow starts to advance. He takes cover on this side of the tree, of the rocks from you, Ruger. That's full cover from you, Damian. Partial cover from you, Ruger. No cover from you, Cauldron. Okay? Just so everyone's clear on how the cover is working with this. All right. He tries to target Cauldron. and fires off his short bow. And he rolls a 15, which will miss. All right. Elryn's turn. What would you guys like Elryn to do?
If she got up,
Probably-
Well, here's the thing. I gotta pick someone to do proxy for her until she gets here. So, Cauldron, you do proxy for her. Ruger, you'll do proxy for Damian if he steps out. Okay.
okay.
All right. So, Cauldron, what is Elryn doing?
Probably helping with this big mess, right? In the middle here.
The elephant in the room, quite literally.
Yeah. I think she should turn the meat grinder on and cast Spirit Guardians.
All right, going into her spell book and opening up Spirit Guardians. Oh, that's okay. I thought I was looking in the wrong level. All right. She is now down to only 1/3 level spell, but it does turn on Spirit Guardians for her. Let's see. It did not give me the spell template. Let me turn that back on. Let me try it one more time. Spirit Guardian. All right. There we go. It is now running. All right, so Spirit Guardians is up and running. And all she needs to do is walk into battle. That's the cool part. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. She's going to step right in behind you. And in so doing, she targets these two gentlemen. And let's see what ends up happening with the damage here. Wisdom throws are required. Otherwise, they're taking 17 points of damage here. The cultist manages to make his saving throw. But he takes half damage with the saving throw, so he still got killed. And the ogre absolutely positively did not manage to resist. So she takes down one of them, and the ogre takes a brutal... You see all of these electrified spirits come flying through the air, flying into the cultist. You see his eyes light up, and he goes to scream, and he hits the ground, and they start smashing up against the skin of the ogre, who begins to howl and scream as a result. So there you go. You've got those two folk doing what they do. Let me take that out there. Awesome. So that's Elryn's turn. Unless you want her to do, as a bonus action, spiritual weapon.
She can't. No 2 level spells.
Oh, that's true.
In her turn.
That's right. Yep, that's not a cantrip. Alrighty. So, who is next? It's this
The
one.
owl.
Is it the owl?
Oh, I thought so. I don't know.
Oh, it would look that way, wouldn't it? As you're standing there, and there's no line of sight, so he's going to have to come out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So all of a sudden, into the middle of the road, you see a creature here come out, and he targets Cauldron. And he hits. Damage.
It's with what?
A short bow. You see an arrow go into the armor on Cauldron, and she flinches, and she's like, I only get one of these damn dodges a turn. That's not fair, damn it. All right. How smart is this guy? Not terribly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't get to Druger, but can get to Damian, who's still got his shield up. So Damian, as you, well, he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna give that up right now. So you see another one of those dragons with the black scales come out. However, he can do this. He targets you. You see him. You see his cheeks swell up, and he just barfs out this spray of black smoldering liquid towards you. As you realize what he has done is he is now spitting at you with his acid breath. Let me go and give that a template cone. Oops, not that way. This way. There you go. That's going to go all the way to there. All right. All right, Damian. Let's see. You have to make a dex saving throw. So go ahead and...
All right.
All right. Otherwise, you are taking acid damage.
Dexterity saving throw. Normal, correct?
That is correct. You rolled a 9. You end up taking damage. You take the 7 points of damage, but because you are resistant to acid damage, because of, I believe, one of the gizmos that you are carrying, you take half damage. Actually, no, you would have taken full damage. Sorry, what's happening is it tried to do the auto roll for you. It tried to do an auto save for you. It made it, and you would have only taken half damage, but you're taking the full damage, which is the full 7. So let me go in and make sure that your HP is properly represented as a result. So that should have taken you down to 56. There you are. All right. I gotta keep my eyes on this thing. Oh. All right. Now it is Mr. Owl's turn.
Hey. You're saying game pause for a second, but
Yeah. I accidentally hit this. I accidentally hit the space bar.
okay. He's gonna firebolt the guy with the bow, the annoying guy.
They're all annoying. Let's be honest. From that angle, he has no cover because you're directly over him shooting down. So he has no cover from that. Go ahead and give us the attack, please. Oh, nice shot. You do hit. Go ahead and roll your damage, please. Oh my god, 17 points? With a firebolt? Well done. He's dead. You see him, you see the flame come down, and all of a sudden there's like this conflagration, and you hear this high-pitched scream as the creature falls onto his knees and becomes this smoldering, smoking, blazing wreck against the side of the rock right next to the ogre. All right, yeah. It is now the next...
goes... Psst. Wait, that was just Ruger's turn, right?
That is correct.
The owls.
Cauldron goes, psst, can you move up just a little bit?
Yes. But I wanted to ask a question. Am I in the range of an opportunity attack for that ogre if I went around the cleric and came out in front of...
Let me check. I think his range is 10 feet, so it's a good question to ask. No, he's his great club only has a 5-foot range, so you would not invite an opportunity attack if you wanted to move.
Excellent, because I really want that Dreyok.
All right.
One of them. I'll let someone else have the other one, but I want one.
All right. Yes, I know exactly what you want to bring to the party, too, so I totally get it. All right, Damian, your shield is gone. You no longer have the effect of shield running, so your armor class is back to what it was. You still have aid running, of course. You have a Dreyok that just spit acid at you directly in front of you. There's been attacks coming from the trees over here that you can't tell where they're coming from. There's still one cultist that hasn't moved over here. And obviously you can see the business taking place over here.
So, Ruger, are you going to move or not?
I'm gonna.
Am I going to move my character?
Yeah.
Ruger can't move yet. It's the owl's turn.
Well, yeah, the owl
Yeah.
can move.
Oh, that was the owl's turn. Sorry.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And then,
I wasn't paying attention completely to the combat
but-
chart, so.
but I will move. Yes.
Who do we know where this fire mace came from yet?
No, you don't.
That's why I was sending my owl up to look around. So he's gonna fly around looking until he's comes into attack the next guy.
Gotcha. And I can't sense anybody, I'm assuming.
Not yet, no.
Okay. Okay, where was that Dreyarch that just spat at me again?
Right behind the
here.
rock.
Gotcha. Cool. Alright. I'm going to. Is it possible to run past this mace without getting hit or being attacked?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't think you can invite it. I guess you could invite an opportunity attack from the mace. Yeah, you would. So you could potentially get whacked by that mace with an opportunity attack.
Can you attack the mace?
I don't think you can actually attack the spiritual weapon. There's nothing there to
Right.
attack.
I was about to say, okay. Without losing sight, I'm gonna.
You can go all the way to here you can move all the way up to here without inviting an opportunity attack.
But would I be able? But the second I disengage this guy to attack,
You would invite an opportunity attack if you walked over to try and engage him.
exactly. So, I'm going to step here.
That
That-
invites an opportunity attack.
But I'm still. Would that still be facing this? But I would still be facing him. I'm just trying
Yeah,
to,
but the thing is that you're taking a step away from him without doing a disengage. If you want to take disengage, you can. That means you can't attack this round. Do you want to take disengage and get into the spiritual cover? That's fine. If you want to do that, you can take disengage.
Am I still able to just shoot my bow at this guy?
Yeah, absolutely. He does have partial cover. I will warn you. He does have partial cover.
Without opening myself to attack?
That is correct.
Okay, cool. Then I'll just do that.
All right. Let me give him his cover. Hold on. There we
It'll take
go.
me a second to go through here. Anyways.
All right. From where you are, he has half cover. All right. Go ahead and fire your longbow. That misses. But you have a second one. You quickly draw. You Legolas into the second one. And that one also misses, unfortunately, but comes very, very close to striking him. But unfortunately, he managed to jink his head back behind the rock, and the arrow, careens off of the hard granite and passes off into the trees. All right. This creature here decides that he's going to come down here and get over behind this rock so that he gets partial cover. All right, he has half cover now, and he targets Cauldron and fires his short bow. There we go. And he misses. I actually had accidentally targeted both of you there, but he missed both of you anyways. So his arrow harmlessly flies off into the distance and misses you. That is the end of his attack. Ruger, it is now your turn, sir.
Okay. I'll come around the other side of Elryn and Cauldron.
Okay. So you're stepping here, then here, then here, so that you don't invite an opportunity attack, I assume, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Now, can I get close enough to attack both of them, or am I just stuck confronting
you can if you're standing here, you can easily attack both of them.
Okay. I really don't want to be more than 10 feet away from...
Yeah, I understand. Well, Cauldron's still under your cover, but unfortunately, Elryn is no longer.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is I don't want to leave. Yeah, I don't want to go 15 feet out.
All right.
I mean, she can move up. That would work too.
Well,
I'll tell her to move up as I'm going by.
All right.
Okay, and I'll just do one attack on both of these. I'll use the Dragon Slayer sword on this guy, and I'll use my other sword on the ogre.
All right. So remember, when you're rolling your damage, then that you're using the one-handed damage. So it's not the versatile damage; it is just the regular damage button plus, obviously, the draconic. If you get any, if you get a purchase against him. Now, by stepping out, you no longer have your half cover. I think you understand that. So you're no longer in cover. You're completely out in the open now. Go ahead and target the Drayok first, and give us your roll with your Dragon Slayer sword.
Okay, I'm going to use... I'll use Booming Blade with it.
All right, there you go.
I really don't want him.
If you do that, you won't be able to do 2 attacks. You'll only be able to attack once. All right, because that's a cantrip, right? Because Booming Blade is a spell attack. It's not a melee attack. It uses melee to cast the spell. I know it's confusing. It's one of the things that drives me nuts about it, but it does give you extra damage. So if you target him and you hit, you do the weapon damage, plus you do the Booming Blade damage, plus he has been set with the Booming Blade. If he moves in that turn, if he moves before the beginning of your next turn, it detonates.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Skip the ogre.
Okay.
And just go for that guy.
All right. Go ahead and give me your weapon attack, please.
I just don't want him realigning himself and catching everybody in a breath weapon attack.
Understood.
I'm gonna spend my inspiration point to add advantage.
All right. Go ahead and roll your attack with advantage. And you, in fact, absolutely hit. Go ahead and give us your damage, please. Do the damage for the blade first. Well, that was the Booming Blade. That gives you 9 points of...
That should have been the damage.
Yeah, I know. It always does that. I don't know why. But we've got this now, so that would be... Okay, that's his HP. So go ahead and give me the damage for the Dragon Slayer's longsword, which for some reason I'm not even seeing coming up here right now. Let me pull up your blade so I can see what that would be.
So I don't use the damage button under the sword?
Is it giving you one? Because I'm not seeing one right now. Okay. No, that's the Booming Blade. It's not...
It's not giving it to me.
Yeah, I know, I see that, and I'm not exactly sure why, so...
Longsword damage?
Yes. So give me longsword damage first, which is a D8 plus your strength attribute, which would be 4. So it's a D8 plus 4. I don't know why that happened. Let me pop over here to D&D Beyond, and I will look up that blade. Make sure I'm doing this right. All right.
Seeing like a ghost image of where I used to be standing.
That's always done that. You're just
Oh, okay.
noticing it for the first time. It shows you where you started in case you had to go back and
Oh,
you
okay.
know, redo it.
That's all right. I thought this was some celestial feature that I wasn't very aware of.
Yeah. Okay, so it's 1d8 for that, and then you roll 3d6 for the blade damage. For the Dragon Slayer feature. So go ahead and roll. So 2d8 plus 4 is 11. So he takes 11 points of damage, which takes him down to this. All right. Now give me 3d6 for the Dragon Slayer feature. And that is 10 more points of damage. You see the blade cuts deep, deep into this creature's flesh. You see this glowing blue-white light cut into it and rend through its hide and split open its scales. And it screams out, but it is still alive, but very, very badly wounded with that blow. And it has now been set with the spiritual energy of your booming blade. If he moves before the beginning of your next turn, he will detonate with the booming blade damage. All right. Damian. Okay.
Missing Druger about now.
Yeah, I was saying, right now he's looking really good. All right.
Yeah, and Angelina too. I always like bringing Ravina to the party. She's such a party animal.
Yeah, precisely. You see a flash of sickly blue-green light come flying out of the tree in front of you and bursts into you, causing you 2 points of radiant damage, and then you get smacked by this weapon in front of you. You get smacked by that mace, which does another 7 points of force damage against you.
We still have no idea what the hell this thing is.
Whatever it is, it's hiding.
It looks a lot like a cleric, since our clerics cast those kind of things.
Well,
Let
where
me check something.
where is it? What's the owl doing?
I am checking to see. The owl has not spotted it, but it has centered it in this area right here because it saw where that blast came from, but it has not seen exactly what has caused it. It is hiding in the trees.
Can I throw a fireball at the tree in that general direction to see if it'll do something?
Later you can try. That's a blind shot. It'd be dumb luck, but it's not your turn right now anyways. It is in fact Cauldron's turn. Cauldron, this gentleman now you can get advantage on if you want to try a sneak attack.
Yes.
I figured as much. It's the stabby go bye-bye time. All right. Lines up her dagger. Oh, and does in fact hit. So you see Cauldron fly through the air, dive under the ground, come up between the legs of the ogre, and go straight for the inside of one of his legs. Go ahead and give me the damage. And she splits through the leather of his pants, and you see the black, oozy blood come squirting out of the artery on his leg. And he howls and lifts his leg up in the air, but is still alive. However, is now bleeding profusely from the vicious gash that she just gave him. Of course, that's not the only weapon she can strike with. Go ahead. And she hits again. Give us the damage, please.
There we go.
Very good. 10 more points of damage. She stabs into the other leg, right through the meaty part of the thigh with her rapier. The creature is now stumbling and bleeding, but is still in the fight.
That is my turn.
Yes, it is. And you have now incurred the wrath of the creature in front of you, who has taken it quite personally that you have started using him as your private pincushion. He reaches up with his great club and he slams it on down towards you. And rolls an 18, which will strike against your armor class of 17. The damage being 16 points.
I should probably uncanny dodge that one.
I was going to say, which reduces that down to only 8 points of damage, which you are now at 38 hit points. You're getting down to almost 50% of your hit points, just letting you know. All right, that is it for him. The Drayok takes one step to the right. You see him filling up his cheeks. As he targets all three of you.
So he took the booming blade damage.
Yes, he did. As he steps, he takes the booming blade damage. Please roll it for me, which I believe is another 2d8, isn't it?
I believe so.
Go ahead and
Check it.
oh no, only 1d8. Oh no, 2. Yep, he's taking the 2d8. He's risking it in order to try and get this attack in. Go ahead and roll the damage, please. Roll 2d8 for me.
This doesn't know when to say when, huh?
No, it doesn't. You hit him for 9 points of damage. All of a sudden, there is this loud cacophony as this bolt of lightning out of nowhere strikes on top of the Drayok. And as he opens his mouth to try and spit acid at you, you see his eyes start to smoke and then pop, and his head begins to vibrate as he drops to the ground in a heap and is dead. Self-inflicted. All right. Well done there.
Whew. That paid off.
Well, he was trying to line up all three of you guys with a breath weapon attacks. He figured it was worth the shot.
Right.
Not so much. All right. Elryn. Cauldron, what is Elryn doing?
Cauldron isn't looking so good, so maybe a cure wounds.
All right. So, plus the ogre has to take another set of damage from the spiritual guardians because he has not moved out of the way because he's too stupid. So let's see
If
what
she moved one step to the right, would she get that Drayok in the Spirit Guardians?
she would have, yes. But he's already dead. She's that she would
No,
have
no,
to
no,
go
to north, her right.
yeah, that's a stone. She wouldn't be able to get there.
She'd have to go that far. Okay.
Yeah, if she'd have to step into his reach to reach him, which would not be good. And she doesn't want to lose the. Yeah, to get into your range, she'd have to step into his range.
Or she could go around to here.
She could, but that this is the Drayok he's talking about. Is the one up here,
Okay.
Right? Yeah, I was thinking she'd get cover from the rock. Still,
she could if she goes like here. She could have both of them in Spiritual Guardian, but she needs to touch Cauldron in order to do.
First.
So she
Right.
can do that. She can cast this on Cauldron, and then put her movement here, and then these two guys would take Spiritual Guardian damage. If you want that to happen, so let's first things first. First things first. Let's get the Cure Wounds out of the way. All right. Cure Wounds. This is her last first level spell. She casts it. And she heals you for 10 points, which gets you back up to 48 hit points. So you're feeling much better as a result of that. She then takes 2 steps. Actually, she only really needs to go there, because that does technically bring him into focus. So we'll do this. All right. And then we'll roll the damage for Spiritual Guardians.
But will she get partial cover there?
Oops, sorry. We'll undo that on you. All right. And no, well, from him, she's got cover, but not from him. She's directly in front of him. So if you want her to get cover, yeah, she could go here. He's still just inside her range, and that does give her cover. That's what you're trying to do.
I mean, it's up to Cauldron. That was my thinking.
Well, it does increase her AC quite a bit. So these two gentlemen have to go and do wisdom saving throws to see whether or not they're going to take that damage or not. All right, so is it a 10 or is it 11? They have to check. This is why it's so much harder when it's not your character. Spiritual Guardians. Okay. On a failed save, the creature takes 3d8. What is the it's her general, which I believe is 14. Okay, so they need to roll 14 wisdom save. All right, first and foremost, let's do the ogre. He successfully manages to resist the Drayok. He actually rolled a 20. Oh, these should be public, sorry. So you guys can see it. That here in the game window so you guys can see this. Just realized no one's can see these. There you go. Saving throw for the Drayok. Two criticals.
He got an anvil? What?
Yeah, 2 criticals. 2 critical successes. Both of them managed to resist that attack. All right. That's it for her. All right. Is he going to... Yeah, he's going to target Ruger. And he's going to fire his crossbow.
He looks like one of the cultist creatures we've fought before.
He does indeed.
Didn't know these guys were still around. The Drayoks.
His arrow misses. This Drayok. First of all, let's see if he can recharge this. Oh, I forgot he could have rushed. Oh well. Could have done that. Doggone it. Okay. Let's see if he can recharge this. Where's the recharge roll? And he has recharged. He takes one step here. I think that'll do it. Yep. All right. This puts Elryn and Damian in the crosshairs. He reaches back, takes a deep breath, and spits forward once again. All right. All right. They both need to make dexterity saving throws of 13. Let's check with Elryn first. She needs to make a saving throw of Dex 13. She has inspiration, so she's going to use that. And she still fails. So she takes the full damage of 5 points. Oh, it already did the pre-rolls. Both of them succeeded rather than what I was doing. So they both only took half damage. And that is the end of his turn. Mr. Owl. Do me a favor. Double-click on your owl and give me a perception roll. You need to tell me if you roll over a 16.
Hey.
Nope. You still can't see what's in the trees. You know it's in the vicinity of where you are, but you haven't been able to hit it. What would you like to do instead?
Okay, the owl's gonna come harass the Dreyok.
Okay.
Hit him with a firebolt.
All right. Go ahead and target him and let him have it.
Does the owl count for flanking purposes?
He does. He does. If you took one more step, but he's 30 feet in the air, so it's not really flanking. Not at 30 feet in the air.
Well, he could drop down a lot lower.
Okay. If you want to have him drop down, I can certainly do that. If you want to have him... Oh, I didn't mean to drop that there. Let me get rid of that. All right. Take him down to, let's say, 10 feet. That would be sufficiently low enough to be able to count as a flank. He would need to be within 5 feet. And if so, this creature now has the condition of being flanked.
Do I get advantage on my attack?
You would.
Okay.
Yes. Well, he would be not to you. He wouldn't be, because you can't move in and then flank somebody and then you flank them with the attack. Someone else has to be next to him, so he would be flanked once someone gets within attack range of him. Having one person next to you is not you being flanked. It's having two people on either side of you counts as being flanked. You understand?
Okay.
Okay. So
his first roll missed.
Okay. Well, that's the only attack he gets, because you were trying to hit with the firebolt, right?
Right.
Okay. So it didn't hit. You don't get two rolls. You get one attack.
I understand. The second roll is if he had advantage, because I thought I had advantage because I was flanking him.
I see.
Because he's got two opponents right in front of him. But since you explained it to me, that's why I said no. My first attack roll missed.
Got it. Okay.
I wasn't trying to attack twice.
Gotcha. All right. I'm looking for something else here real quick. Okay. All right. So that is the end of Ruger's attack. Damian, if you approach, the creature will be flanked if you come within range. But now you can come into range now without inviting an opportunity attack from the glowing mace.
All right, let's do that then.
All right. Now, if you attack him because the owl's behind him, you now get you get the flanking benefit now because now he is bracketed.
Then I will take advantage of that. I guess I shall. I guess swing my sword.
All right, so you swing Talon.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me target him. So he's targeted.
Yep. Attack with advantage. And you missed.
Wow.
You rolled 2 really crappy rolls. You rolled a 4 and a 5. Unfortunately, that is not
Wow.
sufficient.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Well, you have another attack, sir. You do get 2 attacks. You have extra attack.
Can I try again, I guess?
Yes, I would try again if I were you.
Go for it.
That's better. And that one actually hit. So please give us versatile damage because you're using it as a hand and a half sword. So roll versatile damage, please. And you hit for 11 points, even on a crappy 4 on your roll. You've managed to bring in a fairly decent strike. You cut right across the breast on this creature, and you see black ooze coming out and blood from the scales that you have just pierced. And that is the end of your turn, sir. All right, this cultist here who has cover is going to target Ruger this time, because Ruger is now in front of Cauldron, so he will target you. Chivalry doesn't pay, sir.
I suppose not. But a high AC always helps.
Yes, it does quite a bit as that arrow careens off of your armor harmlessly, and you are completely unscathed, and it is now your turn, sir.
Okay, I'll try to hit the ogre. I mean, how can I miss? It's a big fat ogre, right?
Yep. You guys are on the same side of him, so he doesn't count as being flanked. He is just an open target. If she'd have to be on this side of him to count as it being flanked. So
I totally thought you were going to say, just because you're on the other side of him doesn't mean that he's fat. As opposed to flanked. I thought you were going to say fat.
I'm going to take a step here, so if she took a step over there, maybe she would get the flanking bonus. I'm not going to get it this turn.
Okay. Go ahead and let him have it.
Okay. And then she can get out of the way of the shooters off our flank.
Yeah, by basically using the ogre, because he's large, she can actually use him as cover.
Right.
All right, sir.
Exactly.
Go ahead and let him have it. Here comes the attack. He pulls out his silver longsword. Oh,
that was terrible.
That was pretty bad. But you get another swing.
Let's try the other attack.
Crazy martial types. Oh, that is way better. That definitely strikes. Go ahead and roll your damage, please. That would be versatile damage because you're only using one sword. And that is 12 points of damage as you ream right up the back of this ogre with your second strike. You see the bones start to crack underneath your blade. You go into his lungs and frothy black foam comes out of its mouth as it drops. Arms go limp at its side and it goes face first into the grass, dead as a doornail. The ogre is no more. All right. And now that the ogre has dropped, alrighty.
I want to target myself.
Yep. What will it do? What will it do?
Oh, so there's still a guy up there.
Yep. It's not your turn yet.
Oh, it isn't? Sorry, I thought...
Nope. It'll be very soon, though. I'm just looking for something. There it is. I need to get the right template for this to work. All right. And he has one of these left. So. Okay. All right. What is the range? Okay.
Okay, they've had their critical hits. It's about time for a critical fumble.
So why is it not giving... Why is it not showing that? All right. And look, I guess I'll just have to draw this manually. That's fine. I can do that. Is that radius or diameter? Radius. Okay. All right. As you look over in the direction of the trees, you see this enormous globe of darkness suddenly form. And then it starts to move at a very fast clip off into the trees. And it vanishes. All right. Alrighty. Cauldron, what would you like to do? There's two people who I don't think got the memo that the magic user was about to leave. They could be upset. Just a little. But they could also be very dead in a minute. What would you like to do? You can get all the way to here, by the way, and not have to give up your ability to attack.
That's what I'm going to do.
Alrighty. Right, you run up to the rock. The gentleman on the other side no longer has cover as a result of you doing that, by the way. He is now fully exposed. And he looks rather shocked that you're there.
Then I assume he's going to be rather shocked when I, pull a knife on him.
I think it might ruin his day. I could be wrong. Alright. Stabby put time, and you hit, thanks to your amazing dexterity, and this is a finesse weapon. As he looks up and goes, huh? You go, boom, right into his breastbone with that blade. Go ahead and roll the damage, please. You see his eyes bulge out, and as the blood starts to pour down through the opening in his chest that your blade has just made. A little bit of froth in his mouth as you seem to have punctured a lung, but he is still alive.
Not for long, hopefully.
Ugh. And as he looks at you with shock, you take the rapier, put it right into the notch of where his collarbones come together. You push it through, get a little resistance from the spine as you go out through the back, and you impale him like a cocktail olive and he slides off the end of the blade and falls onto his back, dead on the grass.
That is my turn.
Yes, it is indeed. It is now Elryn's turn. What would you guys like Elryn to do?
Maybe spiritual hammer the Drayok? I don't know.
The Drayok. She could certainly try to do that. Let's see.
Does she roll her spirit guardians first?
Actually, we could do that first if you'd like. The cover doesn't really count. Yeah, the cover in this case, he does not get cover in this because he has stepped around the corner now, but he is still flanked. So first and foremost, let's figure out what damage he takes from the spiritual guardians. All right. And that damage is a lot. So let's see what ends up happening with his saving throw. This time he fails with an 8. And as a result, he takes at 9, sorry, and he takes 17 points of damage. He is now aglow as the spirits are lighting him up from head to foot, and he's starting to shriek in pain and starting to smoke and smolder. Would you like her to take a step forward and use a weapon? She could try and use a spiritual weapon, but I don't know if that's really necessary at this point. Do you want her to try and do something else?
Maybe a cantrip.
She has Toll the Dead, Word of Radiance, or Sacred Flame.
Toll the Dead's probably the best.
All right. She targets him. Okay, she's definitely targeted him, but it's saying you need to target them. All right, so she points at the creature. You hear this thunderous, dolorous bell filling the air with sound as if you were underneath a large church steeple. The creature now needs to make a saving throw against his wisdom, which is a 14. Sorry, just kind of moving the... There we are. I couldn't reach him to go and do that. He needs to roll a 14 on his saving throw. And he rolls a 15. He manages to resist and takes no additional damage. He's just double checking. Correct. Yep, no damage. So that is the end of her turn. All right. This creature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Takes off into the trees. The Drayok is in extremely bad shape. Let's see if he can recharge. Nope, not this time. So he hisses something incomprehensible to you, Damian. At least I don't think you would understand it. Let me take a look at your languages. No, you would not understand this. But he does target you. And you see him pull out his odd spear-like, blade-like object, and he swings at you with his attack. And he hits. And his damage He hits you for 4 points of damage. He then swings and tries to strike you again. And he misses with the second one. All right. Very good. That is the end of his round. Ruger, Mr. Owl is up. What would you like to do? You now have flanking position on the Drayok.
He'll try to burn him again.
All right, go ahead and let fly. This time attack. Is it an attack roll or is it just an immediate saving throw?
I think it's an attack roll.
All right, let's check on that. It's Sacred Flame, right? Or is it Firebolt?
It's Firebolt.
All right, let me double check. I believe that one is. Yes. So it is an attack roll. So go ahead and give me the attack roll. It doesn't appear to be in his spell book anymore. Let me put that back in there. I don't know why it's gone. There you go. Now try it. Make sure you do the attack with advantage. There you go. And you strike. The flame comes out of the eyes of your owl and strikes this poor, hapless creature, and it goes up like a Roman candle. And you hear it hissing and popping and sizzling, and as it screams, it starts to laugh. And then it crumples into a pile of ash onto the ground. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of combat.
Okay, can I send the owl north and up in the air?
You can.
And just see, if it can see where the darkness got to before it merged with the rest of the darkness. I don't know if it can see anything.
So as it goes up, to get over the trees, he's going to have to go up quite high. He's going to have to spend most of his movement to get up to that height. But as he starts to fly out over the trees, the tree cover gets very dark and very dense very quickly. And as a result, you can't make anything out from where you're up to at this point.
Okay. Is this a real opponent here?
Which one?
I'm seeing a person there.
He's dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a body.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why it's showing that way right now. He's actually quite dead. So he should actually have the cross and skull and crossbones over him. Most people, I think, are seeing him as basically a pile of blood on the floor. And that's where it lays off. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings that round of combat to an end. But as soon as you guys are finished dispatching the last of the creatures, the rest of the city folk come up behind you, and they start thanking you profusely for all of the assistance that you just made. And they're all huddled around you. You notice that all of the children are kind of looking at you very wide-eyed as a result. No one else was attacked over the course of this, but Damian, this feels remarkably like the tactics that were used last time. In fact, you notice that this particular attacking party was much smaller than the ones you've been attacked with from the past, and there was no there was no attack from the air this time. The last time that you guys were attacked by a group, you had more people attacking. The ogre was just like this one, hell-bent on destroying you, but there were also attacks from above, magic users that were wielding spells from the sky. Which fortunately you did not have to deal with this time. So even though this was unpleasant, compared to the combat that you had to deal with on your way to the rally point earlier yesterday, this was pretty tame. However, Cauldron, you probably don't think that because you got kind of beat up pretty badly over the course of this. You're still sitting at about 48 hit points, so you're down about 11 hit points from where you should be. And Damian, you're down about 23 hit points over where you're supposed to be. So the two of you guys got mauled up pretty decently, but nothing too terrible as a result. Anything you guys want to deal with as because of that? Are you guys good? What do you guys want to do next? Because you've now got some very freaked out people that you're dealing with as the normal farmers and so forth now come following up next to you guys as you're looking down at all of these dead bodies.
How much more do we have to travel? Because I don't want us to accidentally use up all of our spells and things like that. And we're,
Yeah,
definitely have
you've
quite
got
a bit
about
left.
you have about another 2 hours worth of about 2 hours worth of walking. All right.
If we want to press
a lot
on.
can happen. I was about to say that's yeah. What was that?
Yeah. I'll do a lay
I
on hands on Cauldron.
Okie dokie. You, Ruger, you have regular crossbow bolts. You have some of those fancy schmancy magical ones you guys found, but you don't have regular arrows. So I'm going to go ahead and give you just a regular batch of arrows. As you guys go through and kind of go through the bodies, there's really nothing of major import of value. I mean, they've still got these crappy ceremonial mass-produced scimitars and daggers. Really nothing to write home about. But they do have arrows that you guys can use for kind of replenishing your what do you call it?
Quiver?
Thank you. So, Ruger, you've now got another quiver. You're not really. That one's stuffed to the brim. You guys have overstuffed them so that you can just get as many arrows as you can. Cauldron, same thing with you. You do have regular arrows in your inventory. So you go and top yourself off. Oh, you were already full. Oh, no, you're at 20. So I'm going to allow you to take an extra 10 just so you've got extra when the time comes. All right. All right. But bear in mind, both of you guys, I'm asking you to do this on your honor. 20 of them are available in combat. 10 of them are actually in your backpack. Okay? So just remember it that way. All right?
Okay.
All right, so you're going to go ahead and lay on hands on Cauldron, correct?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and target her then. She is down, like I said, she is down 19. 19? No. 9. She's only down 9 hit points. 9 hit points. After the healing that Elryn did, she's only down 9 hit points.
I'll give her 9 and then do the rest for Damian. All
right, so you have 21 left after you help her. And then I'll bring Damian over here to... Oh, okay, go ahead. You can... Oh, yeah, that little thingy can go away. The glowing mace has been gone for a while now. Damian is down significantly farther. Damian is down 18. Am I doing the math right? 18 hit points. So you've got 21 left. That will leave you with 3 in your pool. And that will take Damian up to being fully charged with aid running.
Okay.
All right. You guys still have aid running, so you guys are all good from that perspective. And I just realized something here. For some crazy reason. Interesting. That's so funny. Now I've got it. when I was trying to get the companions to show up earlier on, which is what your owl is, it wouldn't show up. So anyhow, as you guys look at these creatures, the humans that were left, the ogre, aside from the great club, there's really no other weapons that it's carrying. The great club is nothing graceful. It's just a big piece of steel, iron reinforced wood. It's all splintered and beat up. Nothing really worth retaining. As you know, the Draox, the weaponry that they have is similarly very crudely wrought. The humans, however, you notice something unusual. As you're looking at them, they have the cultist robes you've seen before. But one of them that you found, the one that you're looking at right now, when you look at his uniform, you notice that it's slightly different. It is the classic look of the uniform, but you notice a triangle where his cloak clasps with two stripes underneath it. So it looks to be a little bit more engaged, a little bit more ornate.
We can take the class. Do you think we should take the uniforms? I mean, they're kind of bloodied up.
The uniforms are, but fortunately they're made out of black, so the blood really doesn't show. I mean, you could very easily, rinse off the clotted parts and it would be quite usable. And you guys do have a full set of them right now, and they're with Elryn. She's got them in her backpack, so you already have them. But this, like I said, this uniform looks slightly different.
Right. So yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and take that uniform and that clasp.
Okay. I'm going to add that to your inventory because hers is getting a little bit full.
Yeah.
Actually, yours is getting a little bit full too, my friend.
Yeah, I'll hand out the javelins to the farmers and just tell them, if they find themselves in an attack, just, stick the pointy end into whatever comes near.
All right, sounds good. All right, so I'm going to add this to you now, and it is called Different Dragon Cult Cloak. All right. And the description here. All right. It weighs, I'll say that. There we go. There we go. And that is now in your inventory. So, there we go. All right. You guys get back into formation and you start heading out for the rest of the night. About 2 hours later, you see torchlights ahead of you on the road. There's a makeshift barricade in the middle of the street blocking the trail. You see armed pikemen in slightly better armor than you had seen before. Not like the little hamlet down below. These have all the markings of probably being conscripts, most likely hired by something like the Miners' Exchange, because after all, this area you're heading into is sort of where the miners bring their ores, and this is where they conduct their business before they send things either up to Neverwinter or down to Waterdeep. Cauldron, as you start to approach and ride your horse, you get a slight sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. As you look at the coat of arms that is on the crest that these guards are wearing, you see the familiar mark of a person that you've had dealings with in Waterdeep. And you realize that you may be in danger. And as you bring the cohort in and people start being pushed off towards the different tents and small buildings for them to seek shelter for the evening, the four of you are sort of ignored slightly. The guards haven't really engaged you yet. But as they turn around to look towards you, you have a bit of a feeling of dread. And that's where we'll pick up next week. All right, folks. Well done. I hope you had fun. I hope you had a good time. I did quite a bit. And I have to say, well done. Nothing I like better than watching Shreks go up in flames. So, very well done, everybody. I'm going to go and bring you guys back over to the traveling road here. That's where we're going to pick up next week. So where you are now is right here at the Rumboldt Inn that is within close proximity to the miners' compound, which is up in the foothills directly to the east of you. That's where we will pick up. And Cauldron, you may have to share a little bit of your past with your compadres as you realize what you may have walked into. And we'll pick it up there next week. See you guys, same time, same place.
Thank you.
Thanks. I assume we're not playing on Christmas Day, or
That's true. We'll see if we can't get a game in. It would be a lot of fun if we could do something over the holiday, but I don't want to make people feel like they need to worry about that because, you know, it's Christmas. You know, you guys need to spend time with your families. But if we have time, maybe we can have a little fun. But we'll see how that goes. We'll see how everybody's schedules are playing out.
Yeah,
Okay?
I'm
Probably
around.
not Christmas Day, but
David.
I can
Christmas
do
Day would
around
be-
that time.
Christmas Day would be a stretch, definitely.
Day after, day before.
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I think, are kind of spoken for, and that makes up most of the weekend. But the week after that, maybe we can sneak something in the middle of the week. All right. Okay, guys. I am going to turn this over. I'm going to turn off our audio, and do make sure that you guys, get the word out to some of your friends, and make sure that they know that we're here. If we could get 10 more followers, we can store our recordings much longer on Discord, which I'd really love to be able to do. I am moving our recordings over to a YouTube channel, and I'm archiving some of the older ones that we've got, although I don't, obviously we don't have all of the old ones that we used to do because we only started recording them at a certain point. But all the ones from this phase, I'm going to put into that YouTube channel as well as some of the recordings of the lore and the background and stuff like that. So folks will have access to it there. They want to come in and maybe, creatively borrow some of it for their campaigns. So get the word out to your friends and see if they want to come in and watch or follow and just maybe spend a few minutes with us here and there on the course of our crazy weekends. All right?
Sounds good.
Other than that, take care, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.